in this job, or when you get this opportunity, what definitely to do. Most of you, in this video, we are going to look at a few things that definitely you need to consider as you are applying for this job, and when you take over a job, what you expect, what could be the expectations, and what could be the reality of it all. In this video, we are going to look at what we call the working hours. We are going to look at the accommodation. We are going to look at the day off. We are going to look at the annual leave. Then we are going to look at salary. Then also we are going to look at locations or areas of work. Yes, most of you have admired security guard jobs, especially when it comes to the Gulf countries, being that it's some job that people consider not being so much tedious, that there's not too much a lot of things that has to be done. And when you look at most of these companies, or when you look at most of these Gulf countries, the security level is so high that there's nothing so much that has to be done. You are a security guard employed, but still also there's what we call CCTV cameras that are being put in as form of surveillance in that case. Yes, when you are employed by your company, or if you are recruited as a security guard, first of all, you need to understand the working hours. Yes, most of the time I ask people, or most of the time I ask, do you know the actual working hours that you sign in the contract? Yes. Let your expectation not be too much high, that what you sign in the contract, which is 8 hours, is what particularly you're going to work to. It will depend on which kind of company that you are going to work for. Some companies will employ you, in the contract will be 8 hours. But when you come on ground, it will be something else. It will be you have to work for more than 8 hours, meaning that you'll have to go for 12 hours. So meaning that within yourself also you need to learn how to adjust a lot, to adjust within yourself, such that you can meet up, or you can be within the scale of what is required of you, your employer. But what I have to let you know, that most of the job or security guard jobs, the actual working hours is 12 hours. And that is what exactly that I need to let you know, that you should be aware that I'm medically fit, or I'm fit enough to work for what you call 12 hours. Yes, most of people have tried to come in these countries and you've got disappointed. In such a kind of disappointment, you get disappointed that what you saw in the contract contrary is something else. Yes, on the working hours, we look at what we call the shift hours, from the time you open up your shift and the time you have to accommodate in any way. Some companies, let's say for 1 month, they will give you 1 day off. Some companies, they will say that after 1 month, we shall give you a day off. Some companies say, okay, fine, every Friday, we'll give you a day off. It will depend on the kind of arrangement and what kind of projects that company that hired you, or that sponsor that hired you, or what kind of contracts that you have. There are some places or some locations where even the clients are very strict, that my guard or my security guard or everyone on this should be having a particular day off every after work. That is well and good. If you are posted in that kind of location, it is fine, okay, you'll get the day off. They will give you. But remember, sometimes to some companies, comparatively, it may not be the same amount of money that definitely you think is going to be. Yes, for a person who is working 8 hours and the person who is working 12 hours, you find that you get a lesser amount of salary compared to the person who is working 12 hours. So that could be the difference. So if in your project, they are giving you day off every Friday, or every week you have day off, and there's someone in another project that is working all full month, 12 hours, you'll have a higher amount of money compared to you in that regard. And that's still in that same project where you have a client that is very strict, that this is the amount of money that should be paid, and not cut in that way. But remember, most of us, even if it will be the client, most of the other decisions are normally taken by what we call, they're normally taken by what we call our companies, because it's the company that has sponsorship and it's a company that brought you here. Yes, when we look at another one is what we call salary, which most of you wanted to hear when I talk about the salary. Yes, when you look at what we call salary as security guards, or salary of security guards in Qatar, here or here, I'll just address that here. It starts from 1,300. That is what you have to say. According to the Gazette of March 2021, according to the Labor Laws Gazette that was gazetted in Qatar here, each of every employee is entitled to a salary, which is minimum should be a basic salary of 1,300, meaning that 1,000 is the basic salary that you have to work for 8 hours. Then 300 is given to you as food allowance. So you find most of the security guard, the minimum amount of money they definitely give you, it is that amount of money, which is 1,300. Should be the minimum. I'm saying the minimum. If you're so lucky in that company and there's a maximum, you'll find some people are even earning 2,000. Some people are earning 1,800. Some people to some companies are given food. Some companies, they are not given food. To some companies, people will be given what we call the food allowance. You'll get 3,000, 1,300. That is including what we call the food allowance. If you're working 8 hours and the those are working 12 hours. So comparatively, you find sometimes there may be what we call violations in what we call salary, depending on which kind of project you're working for and which hour. But what you should understand, as you're trying to look for this job or as trying to kind of come in Qatar or try to look for that job, know that the minimum that you are going to get is supposed to be 1,300 as what you call salary. And definitely that's what you should expect. So I think this is clear to you that depending also, when you look at some of the companies, depending on the kind of promotion you have, either you're a supervisor, team leader, they may try to add a small amount of token to what you receive in that regard. Then this is definitely that you have to know that your amount of money should be within that range. For the maximum, depending, some people maybe get beyond that and it's question get something more than that. Okay, let us look at what we call annual leave. Yes, according to security guard or annual leave, you are entitled to what you call an annual leave after 1 year. But remember, most of the security guard, probably that's what you need to expect, that you are going to work 12 hours. Then when you look at transportation, yes, most of you have been asking me, will I have my own car? Will I have my own motorcycle? Sincerely speaking, no. Most of the security guards in the Gulf countries give transportation to their workers. Yes, unless it is going to be on what you call an individual or private basis, that you are in a residential place where you'll be sleeping in the same area where it's your workplace. So most of the time, most of these locations are far away from where the accommodations are in that regard. So meaning that the company needs to organize the transportation depending on what kind of viability they have. They will transport you from area of work to your location, then from location to work. So what you need to understand within this line is that you are going to be under what you call the company, and all the transportation will be bearingly done by what you call the company, unless there's a mutual agreement that you definitely sign with that company and you like, yes, I'll have my own transportation, or you are on another level that is being employed on that case. But what I have to let you know, transportation is normally provided by what you call the company. Then you look at accommodation. Yes, something that you need to understand about security guard jobs in Qatar, in Dubai, in Bahrain, anything generally, that definitely you'll have what you call shared accommodations. Yes, and that shared accommodations is a multilingual collection of different cultures, different nationalities. So definitely within that means definitely you need to understand that I'll be able to live within what is available within my means. And you find that in some places or some companies will rent up a building, which will be a villa that all of you will be there, depending on the kind of number that you have and what kind of project that company has. So if it has a very big number, it will depend on how it will say. But most of the times you find that these are shared rooms with either double decker beds, or even single beds. But normally you find that a room can accommodate of a maximum, like a minimum of 4 people to above of 6, to some companies can even put 8, depending on the size of the room that you are going to stay. So meaning that in that situation, if you're so not lucky enough, you'll be sleeping with other people of another nationality. That one depends on what you call the arrangement, or what you call the arrangement of that company in that regard. So definitely what you need to understand, that you will be able to live within those means, that they will give you the accommodation for that. And that's what I have to let you know, that most of the security companies here in Qatar, especially Qatar, even if other countries, they definitely give you what you call accommodation. So you expect you'll be given accommodation. And when you look at your offer letter, or when you look at your contract, definitely there is always mentioned that accommodation will be provided by what you call the company in that regard. So definitely, if it is that listed, don't expect that the company will give you money for accommodation when it's already listed in what you call an offer letter, or when it's already listed in what you call their requirements to be part of your benefits. Yes, let us look at another one. That is what we call day off. Yes, most of the people have been so much crying what we call about the day off. Yes, it will depend on the availability and it will depend on the company. Yes, when we look at some of these companies, we can rate them from a higher performing company to a medium performing company, then also to a least performing company. So when we look at what we call the day off in security guards, or what you call day off security guards, yes, definitely something that you need to understand as you are coming here as a security guard. It is not mandatory that what is written in your contract on your offer letter to be your day off. It will depend on the availability, or it depends on that time. So probably that's what you need to expect in one or the other. Then locations, when you talk about locations, it will definitely going to depend on which kind of area you are working to, or which kind of area you are being posted to work. So that's what definitely you should understand, that it's the company to decide which kind of location to take you and where to be posted for work in that regard. So you find that is all I can tell you when it comes to what we call security guard companies, or what we call about security guard jobs in Qatar. For that one, I think I've given you a full detailed explanation that definitely should understand, looking at what we call the most important basics when it comes to security guard jobs and what you definitely expect. Thank you so much, by the way. If it's your first time come, don't forget to hesitate, don't forget to keep a like, and don't forget to comment in that, because I'll always be very grateful and ready to get back to you. Thank you so much. It's always Mex giving you all this information.